Welcome to tonight's episode. As we settle in together for this special journey, I invite you to share in the comments where in the world you are tuning in from. Whether you're nestled in a cozy apartment in Paris, relaxing by the coast in Sydney, or listening under the city lights of New York, your presence adds warmth and connection to our shared experience. Please take a moment to find a comfortable position, whether you're lying down, sitting back, or wrapped in your favorite blanket. Allow yourself to sink into the support beneath you, releasing any tension you may be carrying. As you listen to tonight's story, imagine each word gently washing over you, soothing your mind and easing away the stress of the day. With every breath, feel your worries melt away, replaced by a sense of calm and tranquility. Let your thoughts drift as we embark on this peaceful journey together, allowing your mind to unwind and your spirit to rest. Chapter 1. The Cracked Moon. The morning air in Guyane was imbued with the scent of damp earth and the faint sweetness of fallen cherry blossoms. The first rays of dawn filtered through the delicate shoji screens of the moonlit plum tea house, casting a mosaic of light and shadow upon the tatami mats. Yuki Tanaka moved with the grace of a flowing stream, her dove-gray kimono whispering against the floor as she meticulously arranged the tea room for the upcoming autumn moon viewing ceremony. Her hands moved deftly, placing each tatami mat with precision. The rhythmic sound of the woven straw, a soothing backdrop to her focused efforts. Outside, the rustling leaves of the cherry tree danced lightly in the gentle breeze, creating a soft symphony that contrasted with the distant tolling of temple bells, marking the hour of morning contemplation. Yet beneath Yuki's calm demeanor, a current of unease stirred within her. "Today is the day," she murmured, adjusting a sprig of vibrant maple leaves in the alcove, their fiery hues a reminder of the season's fleeting beauty. The air was thick with anticipation, as villagers and nobility alike prepared to gather under the full moon, to share in the beauty of nature and the art of tea. For Yuki, this event was not merely a ceremony. It was a legacy, a chance to honor her ancestors and to uphold the traditions that had been passed down through generations. As her gaze drifted to the alcove shelf, her heart sank. There, nestled among the carefully curated artifacts, was the bowl known as Autumn Moon. Its porcelain surface glistened like the moonlit sky, but as she approached, a sudden chill crept down her spine. She reached out, her fingers trembling slightly, and gasped softly. "No, not now," Yuki whispered, her voice barely a breath. The crack bisecting the bowl was hairline, but unmistakable, a jagged line cutting through the delicate artistry that had once seemed flawless. Despair washed over her, pulling her into a vortex of panic. The cracked bowl was more than a piece of pottery. It was a vessel of her family's history, imbued with the spirits of those who had come before her. How could she present it during the ceremony? "Yuki," Kenji Takahashi's voice broke through her reverie, rich with concern. The elderly assistant shuffled into the tea room, his gray hair tied back, his simple dark kimono lending him an air of quiet dignity. "Is something amiss?" Yuki turned away from the bowl, her heart heavy. It's the autumn moon bowl. There's a crack." Kenji's expression shifted from concern to understanding. "Ah, the bowl that holds so many memories. But tell me, is it the bowl or the heart behind it that matters most?" Yuki looked up, her brow furrowed. "But the ceremony is about perfection, Kenji. The bowl needs to be flawless." What will Lady Matsudaira think? With a soft chuckle, Kenji moved closer, his hands resting on his knees as he crouched to meet her gaze. Lady Matsudaira knows that the essence of the tea ceremony lies not in the objects we use, but in the spirit we bring to it. The philosophy of wabi-sabi teaches us to embrace imperfection. Perhaps this crack is a part of the bowl's story, just as it is a part of yours. Yuki sighed, her fingers tracing the delicate line of the crack. I fear the guests will see only the flaw and not the beauty. Then it is your duty to show them both, Kenji replied gently. The autumn moon is a symbol of transience, a reminder that all things change and fade. Embrace that truth, Yuki. Let the crack be a testament to your journey, not a blemish on it. As Yuki's gaze fell back to the garden, she noticed the cherry tree standing proudly in the early light, its branches swaying gracefully under the weight of its remaining blossoms. The petals that had already fallen formed a carpet of soft pink on the ground, reminding her of her grandmother's words. True beauty lies in embracing impermanence. Yuki rose, stepping outside into the garden, where the air was cooler and the sounds of the Gion streets floated in the distance. The Katsura River shimmered under the rising sun, its surface reflecting the hues of morning. She sat upon a moss-covered stone, letting the soft earth cradle her, the soothing sound of water nearby calming her turbulent thoughts. Ah, the beauty of the season, she murmured to herself, watching as a single leaf detached from the cherry tree, swirling gracefully before it met the ground. Perhaps I need to learn from the leaves, to let go and accept what is. Yuki! A cheerful voice interrupted her solitude. It was Sato Yoshida, her youthful apprentice, bounding into the garden with his tousled black hair catching the morning light. I was just... Oh! He halted mid-sentence, eyes wide as he noticed her troubled expression. What's wrong? It's the autumn moon bowl, she confessed, her voice heavy with the weight of her revelation. There's a crack. I don't know how to proceed. Sato's youthful face contorted in confusion, then brightened with understanding. But that's not the end. It's a story in itself, isn't it? You can tell everyone how it survived the years, how it carries the beauty of time. Yuki couldn't help but smile, a flicker of hope igniting within her. You have a way of seeing things, Sato, but you must remember, the guests may not understand. Let them ask, Sato exclaimed, his enthusiasm bubbling over. You can explain the wabi-sabi philosophy to them. Show them how the crack makes it unique, how it represents your journey as a tea master. It's not just a bowl, it's part of you. Drawing in a deep breath, Yuki felt a sense of calm wash over her. Perhaps Sato was right. Embracing the imperfection could be a way to connect with her guests more deeply, to share a part of her soul through the ceremony. Thank you, Sato, she said, her voice softening. You have a wise heart. Just trying to keep up with you, he replied with a grin, his eyes sparkling with youthful energy. Now, let's get ready. Lady Matsudaira will be here soon, and you must be perfect for her. We can't keep a noble waiting. As they moved back inside, Yuki felt a renewed sense of purpose. She would honor the teachings of her grandmother, embracing the beauty found in the cracked bowl. Today's ceremony would not merely be an exhibition of artistry, but a celebration of life's imperfections. The morning passed in a flurry of activity, each moment filled with the fragrance of tea leaves and the gentle clinking of porcelain. Kenji prepared the sweets with meticulous care, while Sato practiced his calligraphy, writing seasonal haikus to accompany the ceremony. The air was thick with anticipation, and Yuki felt the weight of her lineage upon her, guiding her steps. As the sun began to dip low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the garden, Lady Matsudaira arrived, her presence radiating grace and authority. She wore a richly embroidered kimono, her dark brown hair intricately styled, and greeted Yuki with a warm smile. "Ah, Yuki, my dear, the moonlit plum always feels like a sanctuary," she said, stepping inside. Her eyes scanned the room, appreciating the seasonal arrangements and the delicate balance of light and shadow. "I can already sense the tranquility here." "Thank you, Lady Matsudaira," Yuki replied, bowing slightly, her heart racing with the weight of the moment. "I hope this evening brings you peace." As they settled into the ritual of tea, Yuki poured the matcha, her movements fluid and practiced. The guests began to arrive, each one a thread in the rich tapestry of Kyoto's culture, their laughter mingling with the gentle sound of the river. With each sip of tea, Yuki felt the atmosphere shift, her worries beginning to dissolve in the warmth of shared stories and laughter. The moon rose higher in the sky, illuminating the tea house with its silvery light, and Yuki's heart swelled with a sense of belonging. Finally, as the last guest settled in, Yuki cleared her throat, her hands trembling slightly as she held the cracked bowl aloft. "Tonight I present to you the autumn moon," she began, her voice steadying with each word. "It carries a story, a reminder that beauty lies not only in perfection, but in the acceptance of our flaws." The room fell silent, eyes trained on the bowl as she continued. "This crack is a testament to its journey, just as we are shaped by our experiences. Let us embrace the impermanence of life and find solace in the beauty of what remains." A gentle murmur of appreciation rippled through the guests, and Yuki felt a wave of warmth wash over her. In that moment, she knew she was not alone. The cracked bowl was not a blemish, but a symbol of resilience, a reminder that life's imperfections could lead to profound beauty. As the moonlight bathed the tea house in ethereal glow, Yuki smiled, her heart full. Perhaps, she thought, the crack is not the end, but a new beginning. And with that thought, she poured another cup of tea, ready to weave her story into the tapestry of Kyoto, one imperfect moment at a time. Chapter 2. Whispers of Autumn. The early morning light crept gently through the shoji screens of the moonlit plum tea house, casting delicate patterns of shadows that danced across the tatami mats. Yuki Tanaka sat in seiza, her back straight yet relaxed, before the cracked autumn moon bowl. The porcelain, despite its imperfection, held a beauty that resonated with the ethos of wabi-sabi, and yet that morning it felt more like a burden than a blessing. Outside, the air was crisp with the scent of fallen leaves, mingling with the faint aroma of green tea wafting from the kitchen. The distant sounds of the Gion district awakening. The soft chatter of merchants setting up their stalls, the clatter of wooden sandals on cobblestones, created a symphony of life that both soothed and unsettled her. Yuki's brow creased in thought. "How can I present this bowl," she murmured to herself, "when it carries such a visible flaw?" The crack, like a jagged scar across the smooth surface, felt like an omen of disappointment looming over the upcoming tea ceremony. A ceremony that was meant to embody harmony and grace. She took a deep breath, letting the cool air fill her lungs. The garden outside, with its meticulously raked pebbles and the glistening fountain that trickled like a gentle stream, reminded her of the beauty of nature's cycles. Yet she felt trapped, ensnared by her own expectations. "Yuki-san?" A familiar voice broke her reverie, pulling her back to the present. Kenji Takahashi, her elderly assistant, entered the tea house. His gray hair was tied back in a loose bun, and his simple dark kimono contrasted with the richness of the autumnal colors outside. He carried an assortment of tea utensils, their polished surfaces gleaming in the morning light. "Ah, Kenji," Yuki offered a tentative smile, her heart a little lighter with his presence. "I was just contemplating the autumn moon bowl." Kenji's eyes twinkled as he set the utensils down. "It possesses a story, Yuki, a story more profound than its crack." He moved closer, kneeling beside her. "Tell me, what troubles you?" Yuki glanced at the bowl, then back at Kenji. "What if its imperfection mars the ceremony? What if the guests cannot see past it? This bowl was my grandmother's, and I fear it will disappoint her spirit." Kenji chuckled softly, a sound like the rustling of leaves. "Ah, my dear Yuki, I have witnessed many a tea ceremony, and I can assure you that it is not the perfection of the vessel that matters, but the intention behind the act. I remember a gathering where a teapot shattered right in the middle of the ceremony. The guests were aghast, but the tea master, unfazed, simply laughed and poured the tea into his own hand, passing it to the guests with warmth. It became a moment of joy, a connection forged in the shared experience of imperfection. "But Kenji, this is different," Yuki protested. "This bowl is a symbol of my lineage, of my duty to uphold the traditions of our family. Traditions, my dear, are not meant to be shackled by fear. They are living things, meant to evolve, to embrace the cracks and the flaws that weave the tapestry of our lives. Wabi-sabi teaches us to find beauty in the imperfect, to see the transient nature of all things. Perhaps this bowl, with all its history, can teach you more than you realize." Yuki nodded slowly, absorbing his words. The crack in the bowl was a reminder of the passage of time, the trials endured, the love shared. "A lesson, then?" she mused aloud. "Indeed," he replied, a glimmer of approval in his gaze. "And perhaps a reminder that your grandmother would want you to honor her legacy not by clinging to her perfection, but by embracing your own." Before Yuki could respond, the sound of footsteps approached. The door slid open to reveal Lady Matsudaira, a vision of grace in her richly embroidered kimono, her dark brown hair intricately styled. She entered with the air of a gentle breeze, immediately sensing the tension in the room. "Yuki-chan," she greeted, her voice warm and soothing. "You seem troubled. Is it the bowl?" Yuki felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Lady Matsudaira, yes. I fear the ceremony will not be what it should be without it being whole." Lady Matsudaira knelt beside her, her presence like a calming balm. "Ah, the autumn moon bowl. I remember it well. The stories it has seen, the hands that have cradled it. But tell me, dear, what does it mean to you?" Yuki hesitated, then spoke. "It is a connection to my grandmother, to our family's legacy in the tea ceremony. But the crack, it feels like a betrayal of that legacy. Or perhaps a testament to it," Lady Matsudaira suggested gently. "Autumn teaches us about the beauty of change, of letting go. Leaves fall, colors fade, and yet the season is breathtakingly beautiful as it is, just as the bowl is, with all its imperfections. What if you allowed it to speak for you, to tell your story?" The weight of her words settled around Yuki like a warm cloak. "To tell my story, precisely," Kenji chimed in. "Every crack, every flaw is a chapter in that narrative. Share it with your guests. Let them see how you embrace what is, rather than what should be. Yuki looked from Kenji to Lady Matsudaira, her heart swelling with a newfound understanding. You both are right. The ceremony is not just about the bowl. It is about the connections we create, the moments we share. Lady Matsudaira smiled, her eyes glistening with approval. Then allow the bowl to be a part of that connection. Prepare it with care, and let it remind you and your guests of the beauty of imperfection. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its golden rays across the garden, Yuki felt a sense of peace enveloping her. She could almost hear her grandmother's voice, encouraging her to embrace the lessons of life, to cherish both beauty and flaw. I will honor it, Yuki finally said, her voice steady. I will share its story, and I will prepare the ceremony with the spirit of wabi-sabi in my heart. The trio moved to the garden, where the fallen leaves formed a vibrant tapestry of reds and golds upon the mossy ground. The sound of water flowing from the nearby fountain added a soothing rhythm to the morning air. Wabi-sabi is not just a philosophy of tea, Lady Matsudaira explained as they walked. It is a reflection of life itself. The beauty of a withered flower, the elegance of a crooked tree. These are reminders that nothing is permanent, yet everything is beautiful. You must remember this as you prepare for your guests. Kenji nodded in agreement. The tea ceremony is a dance, Yuki. Each movement, each gesture, is imbued with intention. Let your guests feel the authenticity of your experience, even the imperfections. Yuki listened intently as they moved through the garden, her senses alive with the colors, scents, and sounds of autumn. The air was crisp, fragrant, with the scent of ripe persimmons and the earthy aroma of damp soil. She watched as a gentle breeze stirred the leaves, sending them swirling like confetti through the air, a reminder of the fleeting nature of beauty. As they reached the tea house, Sato Yoshida burst in, his youthful energy filling the room. Yuki-san, Kenji-san, Lady Matsudaira! He skidded to a halt, his tousled black hair bouncing with excitement. I've brought some seasonal sweets. You have to see how beautiful they are. Let's see then, Kenji encouraged, his face lighting up with eager anticipation. Yuki smiled at Sato's enthusiasm, feeling her spirits lift once more. What have you created this time, Sato? He produced a small wooden box, opening it to reveal delicate confections shaped like autumn leaves, dusted with powdered sugar. I used chestnut paste, and each one is filled with sweet red bean. They're called kuri kinten. Lady Matsudaira leaned forward, her eyes twinkling. You've outdone yourself, Sato. These are exquisite. Sato beamed, basking in their praise. Thank you. I thought they would pair beautifully with the tea we'll serve today. Indeed, Yuki agreed, feeling a spark of inspiration. Perhaps we should incorporate the theme of autumn into the ceremony itself. Each sweet can represent a different aspect of the season, celebrating the beauty of change. Sato's eyes widened with excitement. That's a wonderful idea. We can explain their significance to the guests as we serve them. As they prepared for the ceremony, Yuki felt a renewed sense of purpose. Her heart danced with anticipation as she arranged the sweets on a tray, contemplating how to share the story of the cracked bowl, of her grandmother, and of the lessons she had learned that morning. Yuki-san, can you tell me more about the tea ceremony? Sato asked, his voice filled with curiosity. What does each gesture mean? Yuki smiled, her confidence blossoming. Every movement is intentional, Sato. From the way we hold the tea scoop to the angle at which we serve the tea. It is about respect. Respect for the tea, for the guests, and for the moment itself. Even the cracked bowl? He asked, tilting his head in childlike wonder. Yes, even that, she replied, her heart swelling with pride. It is a reminder that life is not perfect, and that is what makes it beautiful. Each flaw tells a story, and it is our responsibility to honor those stories. As they continued their preparations, Yuki felt the weight of her worries lifting, replaced by a sense of clarity. She was not just a custodian of her family's traditions. She was also a storyteller, ready to share her journey with others. Later, as the sun began to dip low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the tea house, Yuki stood in the garden, gazing down at the autumn moon bowl. The crack, once a source of anxiety, now felt like a thread woven into the fabric of her life. It was part of her story, and she was ready to share it with her guests. In that moment, a sense of calm washed over her. She understood that the true beauty of the tea ceremony lay not in the perfection of the vessels or the arrangement of the sweets, but in the connections forged through shared experience, the acceptance of life's imperfections, and the celebration of the fleeting beauty that autumn brought. With a deep breath, Yuki turned toward the tea house, ready to embrace the ceremony unfolding before her. The whispers of autumn echoed through the garden, a gentle reminder that beauty could be found even in the cracks. Chapter 3. The Art of Kintsugi. The first light of dawn slipped through the shoji screens of the moonlit plum tea house, casting soft, golden patterns on the tatami mats. Yuki Tanaka knelt in seiza before her cracked autumn moon tea bowl, its delicate porcelain glinting under the gentle light. The air was thick with the faint scent of sandalwood incense, mingling with the crispness of the early autumn morning. Outside, the rustle of leaves and the distant sound of a brook provided a serene accompaniment to her contemplation. Yuki's heart felt heavy as she traced the crack in the bowl with her fingertips, feeling each imperfection as a reminder of the weight of her responsibilities. Memories of her grandmother's teachings echoed in her mind. Embrace the flaws, Yuki. They tell a story that perfection cannot. But embracing imperfection felt daunting, especially with the upcoming tea ceremony that would showcase her skills as a tea master. The crack marred the beauty of the bowl, and with it, her confidence. Would Lady Matsudaira, the esteemed patron of the arts, look down upon her for presenting a flawed vessel? Would the guests notice the imperfection? Yuki sighed softly, the sound barely breaking the tranquil atmosphere of the tea house. She longed for guidance, a way to reconcile her feelings with the philosophy she had been raised to cherish. Taking a deep breath, she rose and dressed, slipping into her dove-gray kimono. As she tied the obi with care, she felt the weight of her decision settle upon her shoulders. Today, she would seek out Master Sen no Soten, the renowned expert in kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with lacquer mixed with powdered gold. Perhaps he could teach her how to transform her fears into something beautiful. Stepping outside, Yuki was greeted by the vibrant palette of autumn in the Gion district. The streets overflowed with color as maple leaves blazed in fiery reds and oranges. Vendors were setting up their stalls, their voices mingling with the laughter of children playing nearby. The air was crisp, filled with the promise of change, and as Yuki walked, she felt the shifting winds of the season echo her own internal struggle. As she passed a local vendor, an elderly woman arranging vibrant chrysanthemums, Yuki paused, drawn in by the flower's beauty. "Ah, the leaves are just as beautiful as the flowers," the vendor smiled, her hands moving deftly as she tied the stems together. "Each season brings its own charm, just like our lives, wouldn't you agree?" Yuki nodded, her heart warming at the woman's words. "Yes, The beauty of change is undeniable, yet it can be unsettling. The vendor's eyes twinkled knowingly. Ah, yes. Sometimes we fear what we do not understand. But every change leads to something new, does it not? Just as the cracked tea bowl can become something more when repaired. Yuki's breath caught in her throat, the vendor's words resonating deeply within her. She thanked the woman, a newfound determination sparking in her heart, and continued on her path. Each footfall felt lighter, as if the weight of her doubts was being shed with every step. As she approached Master Sen no Soten's workshop, the earthy scent of clay enveloped her, and she could hear the soft whir of pottery wheels spinning. The workshop was a sacred space, filled with the gentle hum of creation and the aroma of damp earth. Shelves lined with delicate pieces of pottery adorned the walls, each one a testament to the artistry that flourished within. Yuki stepped inside, her heartbeat quickening with both excitement and trepidation. The master himself stood at a wheel, his gnarled hands skillfully shaping a lump of clay. He looked up as she entered, his wise eyes narrowing with curiosity. "Ah, Yuki-chan," he said, pausing his work. "What brings you to my humble workshop?" She bowed deeply, the respect she held for him spilling forth in her gesture. "Master Sen no Soten, I seek guidance. I have a bowl, a cherished piece, but it bears a crack. I wish to learn the art of kintsugi to repair it, to understand its beauty in imperfection." Sen no Soten nodded, a smile breaking across his weathered face. "The cracked bowl, you say? Come, let me show you." He led her to a work table cluttered with tools and materials. With deft hands, he picked up a vessel marred by fractures, its surface irregular and raw. Kintsugi is not merely about repair, it is about transformation. It teaches us to embrace our scars, to see them as part of the narrative. Yuki watched intently as he mixed gold lacquer with powdered gold, a shimmering substance that seemed to capture the light. Each crack tells a story, Yuki-chan. The history of the piece becomes part of its beauty. Just as you must embrace your own journey, imperfections and all. As he began to fill the cracks, the gold lacquer glided over the surface with grace, transforming the flaws into radiant veins of light. Yuki gasped, her heart swelling with a sense of wonder. The bowl was no longer just a broken object. It was a canvas of resilience and beauty. "Master, this is extraordinary," she whispered, a tear escaping down her cheek. "I see now. The bowl's history, its imperfections, are what make it unique." Sen no Soten nodded, his gaze steady. "Remember, Yuki-chan, life is much like this bowl. We are all cracked in some way. It is how we choose to mend those cracks that defines our essence." The weight of his words settled over her like a warm embrace, grounding her. "I wish to learn," she said, determination igniting within her. "I want to repair my bowl, and in doing so, embrace my own beauty." After the demonstration, Yuki found herself in the workshop's serene garden, surrounded by the vibrant blooms of chrysanthemums and the soothing sound of a bubbling fountain. The air was cool, and the scent of damp earth mingled with the floral aromas, creating a peaceful sanctuary for reflection. Sitting on a stone bench, she closed her eyes and allowed the moment to wash over her. The stories behind each piece of pottery danced in her mind, and she realized that every crack, every imperfection, was a testament to resilience. Just as the autumn leaves fell, giving way to winter, her own life was filled with cycles of change. In this quietude, an emotional realization enveloped her. The crack in her bowl was not a flaw to be hidden, but a testament to its history, much like her own experiences. She thought of her grandmother, the legacy she had left behind, and how Yuki's journey as a tea master was also filled with challenges and lessons. Empowered by this newfound understanding, Yuki rose, her heart lighter than it had been when she entered. She felt as if she had shed a layer of doubt, revealing a core of strength that had always been there. As she made her way back to the moonlit plum tea house, the vibrant colors of Kyoto enveloped her once more. The laughter of children and the chatter of vendors reminded her of the beauty of community, the importance of connections forged through shared experiences. Upon her return, she was greeted by Kenji, who was arranging sweets for the afternoon tea service. His eyes sparkled with warmth as he noticed her renewed spirit. "Ah, Yuki-chan, you seem different. Did you find what you were seeking?" Yuki smiled, feeling a lightness in her chest. "I did, Kenji. I learned about kintsugi, and I wish to repair my bowl. I understand now that its crack is part of its story, a story I want to embrace." Kenji's face broke into a broad grin, his weathered features softening in delight. "That is wonderful. The beauty of our lives lies in our imperfections, does it not? Just as the tea ceremony flows, so too does our journey." His words resonated with her, solidifying her resolve. "Yes, and I feel ready to begin this transformation, not just for the bowl, but for myself." As they worked side by side in the tea house, Yuki explained her plans to repair the bowl using kintsugi, sharing the insights she had gained from Master Sen no Soten. Kenji listened intently, his eyes reflecting the pride he felt for her growth. "You have always had a wise heart, Yuki-chan," he said gently, his voice filled with encouragement. "Embrace this journey as you embrace your guests. The tea house is not just a place for tea, it is a sanctuary for stories and connections." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the tea house, Yuki felt the weight of her past lessen. Each sweet she prepared alongside Kenji felt infused with purpose, a reflection of her renewed spirit. Later that evening, the air in the moonlit plum was thick with warmth and laughter as customers gathered for tea. Lady Matsudaira entered gracefully, her richly embroidered kimono flowing behind her like water. She greeted Yuki with a serene smile, and for the first time, Yuki felt no fear in her presence. "Yuki-chan, you look radiant," Lady Matsudaira remarked, her voice smooth as silk. "I sense a change in you. What has brought about this light?" Yuki met her gaze, unearthing the courage born from her day's revelations. "I have learned to embrace imperfections, Lady Matsudaira. My cracked bowl will soon be repaired through the art of kintsugi. I wish to share this journey of transformation with you and our guests." The lady's eyes sparkled with interest. "Ah, the philosophy of kintsugi. How lovely. May I witness this transformation?" With a heart full of hope and determination, Yuki nodded. "Of course, I would be honored to have you present for the ceremony." As the evening unfolded, the tea house became a tapestry of laughter and stories shared over steaming cups of matcha. Yuki felt a profound connection with her guests, her spirit soaring as she served each cup with grace. She knew that like the autumn leaves that would soon fall, she too could embrace change, for it was in embracing her imperfections that she would find her true self. As the last guest departed and the moon hung high in the sky, casting silvery light upon the tea house, Yuki stood before the cracked bowl. The golden lacquer gleamed under the candlelight, and she gathered her materials for the kintsugi process. A sense of anticipation surged within her. This was just the beginning. With each careful stroke, she would transform the bowl, honoring its history and allowing it to shine anew. And in doing so, she would embrace her own journey, knowing that every crack told a story worth sharing. The night deepened, and Yuki's heart swelled with determination. She was ready to begin the repair, not just of the bowl, but of herself. A journey that would lead to both transformation and acceptance. Chapter 4. The Weight of Expectations. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the tranquil garden of the moonlit plum tea house. Yuki Tanaka sat in the familiar embrace of Seiza, her legs folded beneath her, the cracked autumn moon bowl cradled delicately in her hands. The gentle rustle of the maple leaves, their fiery reds and oranges dancing in the evening breeze, harmonized with the soft glow of lanterns that began to flicker to life. The air was fragrant with the scent of damp earth and the promise of autumn, yet beneath this serene exterior, a storm of anxiety brewed within Yuki. "Yuki-san," came a soft, weathered voice, breaking the stillness. Kenji Takahashi, her loyal assistant, approached with a gentle smile, a handful of seasonal flowers, vibrant chrysanthemums, and delicate persimmons nestled in his hands. He knelt beside her, his gray hair pulled back in a neat bun, his dark kimono slightly worn but still dignified. "What troubles you, child?" he asked, his gaze drifting to the bowl, its crack a jagged scar against the smooth porcelain. Yuki sighed, her fingers tracing the fissure. "This bowl, it carries the essence of the autumn moon, yet its imperfection feels like a betrayal of our art. How can I serve tea to esteemed guests when they may see only the flaw?" Kenji's eyes sparkled with an understanding that transcended words. "Ah, Yuki-san, the beauty of wabi-sabi lies not in perfection, but in the acceptance of impermanence and imperfection. Remember the story of the tea bowl that was repaired with gold. Its scars told a story, a history. But what if my guests do not see it that way?" Yuki's voice broke slightly, the weight of her community's expectations pressing down upon her. "Lady Matsudaira will be there, and others who have known the greatest masters." "Lady Matsudaira is wise," Kenji replied, his tone gentle yet firm. "She will sense the care with which you prepare your tea, not merely the vessels you choose. Focus on the heart of the ceremony, the connection it fosters, rather than the vessels themselves." As Kenji arranged the flowers in a nearby vase, Yuki's thoughts drifted. The autumn moon viewing ceremony was a revered tradition, a celebration of the season's bounty beneath the luminous glow of the harvest moon. Yet, the anticipation gnawed at her. The ghosts of her grandmother's teachings echoed in her mind, urging her to uphold the family's legacy perfectly. The soft sound of footsteps interrupted her reverie as Lady Matsudaira arrived, her presence like a gentle breeze that filled the tea house with elegance. Dressed in a richly embroidered kimono that shimmered like autumn leaves, she exuded grace. Her dark brown hair was intricately styled, framing a face that wore both wisdom and warmth. "Good evening, Yuki," she greeted, her voice smooth as silk. "And to you, Kenji." "Lady Matsudaira," Yuki responded, bowing her head respectfully. The older woman had become a mentor and confidant over the years, her insights often guiding Yuki through the labyrinth of societal expectations. As they settled into the ritual of preparing tea, Yuki poured hot water over the matcha, the vibrant green powder swirling in the bowl like the currents of her thoughts. With each movement, she felt the weight of the cracked bowl bearing down on her, the apprehension of the upcoming ceremony looming larger. "Your garden is as splendid as ever," Lady Matsudaira remarked, taking in the colors that painted the landscape. "There is something quite magical about the transition from summer to autumn." Yuki nodded, a faint smile crossing her lips. "The garden reflects the beauty of impermanence, does it not?" "Indeed," Lady Matsudaira leaned forward, her expression shifting to one of gentle inquiry. "What occupies your mind, Yuki? I sense a heaviness in your heart." Yuki hesitated, her hands trembling slightly as she whisked the tea. "It is the ceremony. I worry that my guests will judge me for using this bowl." She gestured to the cracked vessel, its surface glinting under the lantern light. Lady Matsudaira studied her closely, her eyes narrowing slightly in thought. "You speak of judgment, yet I believe you underestimate the depth of your guests' appreciation for authenticity. Would it not be wiser to embrace the bowl's story rather than hide it?" "Yet I fear their expectations," Yuki confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "I do not wish to disappoint anyone." "Disappointment often arises from the fear of revealing our true selves," Matsudaira replied softly. "You are a master in your own right, Yuki. Each bowl, each cup, holds a part of your journey, including the cracks. Perhaps it is time to let your guests see that journey." The weight of her words settled heavily in the air between them, stirring something deep within Yuki. She could feel a flicker of rebellion against the constraints of perfection. Just then, the door slid open with a soft swish, and in burst Sato Yoshida, his youthful energy lighting up the room like a spark. "Yuki-san, Kenji-san, Lady Matsudaira!" he exclaimed, his eyes wide with enthusiasm. "You must see my latest calligraphy." He produced a piece of paper, the ink still slightly damp, the characters swirling with a life of their own. "It's about the moon. I thought of you, Yuki-san, and your tea." "Ah, Sato, that is quite beautiful," Kenji said, his voice warm with admiration. "You capture the essence of the moon's grace." Yuki took the parchment, her heart lifting momentarily at Sato's infectious excitement. "This is exquisite, Sato," she encouraged, her fingers brushing over the delicate strokes. "You have a gift." "Thank you, Yuki-san," Sato beamed, a youthful brightness that contrasted sharply with Yuki's earlier worries. "But tell me, why do we celebrate the moon? What is its significance in tea?" Yuki considered his question, her heart softening. "The moon represents tranquility and reflection," she began, her voice gaining strength. "In the tea ceremony, we mimic the moonlight's gentle touch, creating a space for contemplation and connection." Sato's eyes widened, his curiosity insatiable. "So, it's not just about the tea?" "Not at all," Yuki smiled, feeling the heaviness lift. "It's about the experience, the stories we share, the moments we create together." "Then why worry about the bowl?" Sato asked, his youthful perspective cutting through Yuki's doubts like a knife. "If the tea is good and the company is excellent, who cares if the bowl is cracked?" Yuki laughed softly, the sound breaking the tension that had clouded her thoughts. "You have a point, Sato. Perhaps I've lost sight of the essence of our art." Lady Matsudaira watched the exchange with an approving smile. Youth often sees what adults overlook. Sato's words remind us that joy resides in the simplest moments. As Sato began to share his thoughts on the moon's influence in art, Yuki felt a renewed sense of purpose. She watched him, this bright soul so eager to learn and share, and it struck her how vital it was to pass on wisdom, without the burden of perfection weighing down the message. Later that evening, once Sato had departed, Yuki found herself alone once more in the garden. The lanterns cast soft shadows among the fallen leaves, and the air was rich with the scent of night-blooming flowers. She gazed at the moon, its luminous face a reminder of the beauty that existed even in its phases of fullness and waning. With the cracked bowl resting in her lap, Yuki took a deep breath, allowing the cool night air to fill her lungs. She thought of the day, the vibrant garden, Kenji's wisdom, Matsudaira's guidance, and Sato's unfiltered enthusiasm. All of them had offered her pieces of clarity, like stars illuminating a darkened path. Perhaps true beauty lies in the acceptance of our imperfections, she whispered to the moon, her voice barely audible. Maybe embracing the crack in this bowl can symbolize resilience, a testament to my journey as a tea master. The thought settled in her heart, a seed of determination taking root. She would not borrow a bowl. She would not hide her imperfections. Instead, she would honor the crack, just as she honored her lineage, her fears, and her dreams. As the moonlight bathed her in silver, Yuki felt a swell of courage rise within her. The ceremony would be a reflection of her true self, imperfections and all, and in that authenticity she would find her strength. Tomorrow she would begin the journey of kintsugi, a process not just of repair, but of transformation, just like the path she had walked that brought her to this moment. With newfound resolve, Yuki stood, the cracked bowl cradled against her heart, and gazed at the moon. Tomorrow, she promised herself, I will transform this bowl, and with it, my own expectations. As the moon shone brightly above the tea house, Yuki felt lighter, ready to embrace the beauty of her journey, imperfections and all. Chapter 5. Shadows of the Past. The dimly lit room of the moonlit plum tea house was steeped in the rich aroma of matcha and the soft rustle of autumn leaves swirling outside. Yuki Tanaka sat cross-legged on the tatami mats, her heart heavy with contemplation, as she gazed at the cracked porcelain bowl resting on a silk cloth before her. The delicate lines of the fractures seemed to shimmer in the fading light, evoking a deep emotional resonance within her. The soft, muted colors of the room mirrored the hues of the season, golden yellows, fiery reds, and burnt oranges, each shade a reminder of nature's impermanence. As Yuki furrowed her brow in concentration, deep in thought about her grandmother's teachings, she barely noticed the quiet shuffle of footsteps approaching. The door slid open with a gentle creak, and Kenji Takahashi entered, his weathered face breaking into a sprightly smile, a tray of seasonal sweets balanced expertly in his hands. "Good afternoon, Yuki," he greeted, setting the tray down beside her. "I brought you some kibi dango and sweet red bean paste. You look as if you've been wrestling with shadows." Yuki offered a small smile, though the weight of her thoughts lingered. "Thank you, Kenji. I've been thinking about this bowl and what it means to me." Kenji's gaze followed hers to the cracked bowl, his expression shifting to one of understanding. "Ah, the autumn moon bowl. I remember when it was first gifted to your grandmother. She cherished it deeply, despite its imperfections. Have you made any progress in your thoughts about it?" Yuki hesitated, her fingers lightly tracing the cracks, feeling their rough texture beneath her fingertips. "I want to repair it, but I fear that I might fail to honor its history." Kenji knelt beside her, his presence a comforting anchor. "Every crack tells a story, my dear. Like the scars we carry, they shape us." This bowl has been part of our family legacy for generations. When I first learned the way of tea, my mentor had a similar bowl, marred by time, yet filled with beauty. He taught me that there is strength in imperfection. What did he do? Yuki asked, her curiosity piqued. He repaired it with lacquer and gold, Kenji said, a glimmer of nostalgia in his eyes. He believed that each flaw should be celebrated, not hidden away. The bowl became a symbol of resilience and the beauty found in life's struggles. Perhaps you could take a page from his story. Yuki nodded slowly. Kintsugi, then, to mend it with gold. Indeed, he replied, his voice warm and reassuring. Just as you must mend yourself, embracing both the cracks and the beauty they bring. Remember, Yuki, the tea house is not merely a business. It is a sanctuary for those seeking solace, art, and wisdom. Your role is to carry this legacy forward. As they prepared the tea together, the gentle sound of a bamboo fountain trickled from the garden, the tranquil melody weaving through the open shoji screens. Kenji's voice flowed like the water as he shared stories of Kyoto's past, tales that wafted through the air like the steam rising from the teapot. Did you know, during the wars, tea houses served as sanctuaries for artists and intellectuals? He mused. While samurai clashed outside, we nurtured creativity within these walls. The tea ceremony became a refuge, a bridge between opposing factions, allowing minds to meet, even when swords were drawn. Yuki listened intently, the weight of history settling upon her like an autumn cloak. What was it like, Kenji, to witness such turmoil? The tension was palpable, yet within the chaos, beauty flourished. Artists would gather, sharing poetry and brushstrokes, finding solace in each other's company. The tea ceremony was a reminder of life's fleeting moments, an invitation to pause and reflect. He paused, pouring hot water over the matcha powder, the vibrant green swirling into a rich foam. It is our duty as tea masters to uphold this tradition, to honor those who came before us. Yuki's heart began to swell with purpose. I want to continue that legacy, to create a space where people can find peace and connection, just as my grandmother did. Kenji smiled, his eyes twinkling like the stars that emerged in the evening sky. Then you must embrace your own story, Yuki. Each moment shapes you. The bowl, its cracks, and your journey are all intertwined. You are meant to navigate these shadows. Finishing their preparations, Yuki inhaled the fragrant steam rising from the tea, a mixture of hope and resolve filling her heart. With a soft, deliberate motion, she served the tea to Kenji, her hands steady, despite the whirlwind of thoughts swirling in her mind. Drink deeply, Kenji, she said with a gentle smile. Let us savor this moment. As they sipped in silence, Yuki's thoughts drifted to her grandmother, to the stories she would share while preparing tea, her hands dancing gracefully, as if each movement were a brushstroke on a canvas. Yuki missed her dearly, yet felt her spirit linger in the very walls of the tea house, guiding her still. After finishing their tea, Yuki stood and walked to the small garden outside, letting the crisp autumn air envelop her. The ground was scattered with fallen leaves, each one a vibrant reminder of life's transience. The cherry tree, its branches now bare, whispered secrets of change, a stark contrast to the beauty of summer. Kneeling down, Yuki touched the soft moss, feeling its coolness seep into her palms. Wabi-sabi, she whispered, recalling her grandmother's teachings. The beauty of impermanence, the acceptance of flaw. The words resonated within her, igniting a spark of understanding. Each crack in the bowl was not a blemish, but a testament to its journey, just as the fallen leaves signified the end of a season, a necessary cycle for new growth. The delicate balance of life, she realized, was a dance between creation and decay. In that moment, surrounded by nature's whispers, Yuki felt a deep connection to her past, her family's legacy, and the philosophy that had guided her for so long. She straightened, the weight of her decision settling in her heart as she returned to the tea house, her resolve firm. Back inside, the warm glow of candlelight illuminated the room, casting flickering shadows that danced across the walls. Yuki gathered her tools for kintsugi, her heart racing. Each item, the lacquer, the gold dust, the brush, held the promise of transformation. Kenji watched her with a knowing smile, his presence a silent encouragement. "Are you ready?" he asked, his voice gentle. Yuki took a moment, inhaling deeply as she positioned the cracked bowl before her. This bowl will not be hidden away. It will be a testament to resilience. I will use it to show the beauty that lies in imperfection." Kenji nodded approvingly, his eyes reflecting the flickering candlelight. "Art has always been a way to express our struggles. Embrace this moment, Yuki, for it is a turning point, not just for the bowl, but for yourself as well." With a steady hand, Yuki dipped her brush into the lacquer, her breath catching as she began to apply it to the cracks. The smell of the resin filled the air, a rich scent that mingled with the lingering aroma of tea. Each stroke felt like a gentle caress, a reconciliation between past and present. As she worked, the storm brewing outside mirrored her emotions. Thunder rumbled in the distance, and raindrops began to patter against the wooden roof, a rhythmic beat that accompanied her thoughts. She envisioned her grandmother sitting beside her, guiding her through each step, her voice a soothing balm amidst the tension. "Yuki," she could hear her say, "the cracks are not to be shunned, they tell our story. Embrace them, and you will find your strength." With each application of lacquer, Yuki felt a sense of catharsis, a release of the burdens that had weighed her down. The gold dust glimmered like starlight, weaving its way into the cracks, transforming them into something beautiful. It was a delicate process, yet with each touch, she felt herself growing lighter, more at peace. Kenji watched in silence, his heart swelling with pride as he observed the transformation taking place not just in the bowl, but in Yuki herself. "You are a true artist, Yuki," he said softly. "The bowl will be more than just an object. It will be a symbol of resilience and the stories that have shaped you." As the final touches were applied, the storm outside intensified, but Yuki's focus remained unwavering. She felt a sense of empowerment, an understanding that embracing imperfection was not a weakness, but rather a profound strength. With the kintsugi complete, Yuki set the bowl aside, her heart filled with a mix of resolve and anticipation. She could already envision the ceremony ahead, the guests who would gather to share in the experience, and the legacy she would uphold. But as she turned to Kenji, a flicker of uncertainty crossed her mind. "What if I am not enough?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Kenji stepped closer, his eyes full of wisdom. "You are more than enough, Yuki. Your journey is just beginning. Embrace the imperfection, for it is what makes you human. The shadows of the past will always be with you, but they do not define you. You are the light that will illuminate the path forward." As the storm raged outside, Yuki felt a newfound strength surging within her. The shadows of her past no longer loomed over her. Instead, they became a source of inspiration. The bowl, now beautifully mended with golden seams, represented not just her heritage, but her own journey of acceptance, growth, and resilience. With the storm still brewing, she knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but she was ready to face it. The tea house, the bowl, and her grandmother's spirit would guide her as she stepped into the future, embracing every imperfection along the way. And so, as the rain fell like a curtain outside, Yuki prepared for the next chapter of her life, one filled with hope, connection, and the unwavering belief in the beauty of impermanence. Chapter 6: A Night of Revelations. The moonlit plum tea house was a sanctuary bathed in the soft glow of flickering candlelight, the air thick with the faint scent of incense and freshly steeped green tea. Shadows danced along the shoji screens, their delicate patterns shifting like whispers in the night. Outside, a cool autumn breeze rustled the branches of the cherry tree in the garden, sending a cascade of petals to the ground like fleeting memories. The distant sound of monks chanting at the nearby temple created a meditative backdrop, wrapping Yuki in a cocoon of tranquility, but her heart raced with anticipation. Yuki sat cross-legged on the tatami mat, her fingers gently tracing the golden crack of the newly repaired tea bowl. The bowl, once marred by a deep fissure, now gleamed with a radiant beauty, its imperfections celebrated rather than hidden. It was a tangible manifestation of her journey, a symbol of resilience. She recalled her grandmother's gentle voice, the wisdom woven into her teachings about beauty in imperfection, the philosophy of wabi-sabi. "What is broken may be made whole again," her grandmother had said, her eyes sparkling with the light of 1,000 stories. As she prepared the tea set, the soft clink of porcelain echoed in the room, soothing her nerves. The ritual felt sacred, a preparation not just of tea, but of the heart. She had spent countless hours perfecting this moment, and yet, with each meticulous movement, anxiety gnawed at her. Tomorrow's ceremony would be a pivotal moment, not just for her, but for the future of the moonlit plum. With a deep breath, Yuki poured hot water over the matcha powder, the vibrant green swirling into a rich, frothy concoction. The ritual was a dance, each motion deliberate and graceful. As she whisked the tea, she allowed her mind to wander back to the cracked bowl, reflecting on what it represented. "It is not the flaw that defines us, but how we embrace it," she murmured to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. Just then, the shoji screen slid open, revealing Lady Matsudaira, draped in her richly embroidered kimono, the fabric shimmering in the candlelight like autumn leaves kissed by the sun. Her dark brown hair was intricately styled, a testament to her noble lineage, yet her presence brought an air of warmth that filled the room. "Yuki," Lady Matsudaira greeted, her voice a melodic blend of grace and authority. "I could sense the light of your spirit guiding me here tonight." Yuki smiled, her heart swelling with affection for the woman who had become both mentor and friend. "Welcome, Lady Matsudaira. I was just preparing for our tea ceremony. Please, join me." She gestured to the seat across from her, the tatami mat soft beneath their knees. As they settled into the familiar rhythm of the tea ceremony, Yuki noticed Lady Matsudaira's gaze drawn to the repaired bowl. "What a lovely piece you have," she remarked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "It seems to glow with a life of its own." "Thank you," Yuki replied, her fingers brushing the bowl's surface. "It was broken, but I repaired it using kintsugi. The gold crack represents the beauty of imperfection." Lady Matsudaira leaned closer, her expression thoughtful. Kintsugi teaches us that our scars tell a story, don't they? Much like our own lives. Tell me, what do you see when you look at this bowl? Yuki hesitated, the weight of the question settling upon her. I see resilience. It reminds me of my grandmother and her teachings. She always believed that beauty lies in the acceptance of our flaws. Lady Matsudaira nodded, her eyes reflecting understanding. And what of your own flaws, Yuki? What do they reveal about you? The question hung in the air, heavy and palpable. Yuki's heart quickened, the vulnerability of the moment making her pulse race. I fear that I am not enough, she admitted, her voice trembling. Tomorrow's ceremony feels like a test, one that I may fail. But failure is merely a stepping stone to understanding, Lady Matsudaira replied, her voice warm and reassuring. We learn more from our missteps than from our successes. The beauty of the tea ceremony lies not in perfection, but in the authenticity of the experience. Yuki took a deep breath, allowing her mentor's wisdom to seep into her bones. You make it sound so simple, yet I feel the weight of expectation. What will they think if I falter? Let them think what they will, Lady Matsudaira said, leaning forward with an intensity that held Yuki's gaze. Your journey is your own, and it is woven with the threads of your experiences. Embrace your imperfections, Yuki. They are what make you unique. Yuki nodded, her resolve strengthening in the face of Lady Matsudaira's encouragement. You speak of acceptance, yet your own life has not been without hardship. You lost your husband, and yet you carry on with grace. The air turned thick with unspoken emotions as Lady Matsudaira's expression softened, a flicker of sadness crossing her features. Yes, a loss that shaped me in ways I am still discovering. My husband was a gentle soul, a man who saw beauty in the simplest of things. His absence is a wound that never fully heals, but it has taught me the importance of cherishing each moment. Yuki listened intently, feeling the weight of the lady's words. What was he like? She asked softly, wanting to know more about the man who had left such a profound impact on Lady Matsudaira's life. He was a poet at heart, she replied, a smile breaking through the sadness. He would often write haikus about the changing seasons, capturing the fleeting beauty of nature. I remember a particular poem he wrote about the cherry blossoms, reflecting on their ephemeral nature. In the breeze they dance, beauty lost to fleeting time, yet their scent remains. That is how I remember him, like the blossom, vibrant yet ephemeral. A silence enveloped them, filled with the weight of shared understanding. Yuki looked down at the bowl, the golden crack shimmering in the candlelight. I feel the same way about my grandmother. Her teachings are like the scent of the blossoms, lingering in my heart even though she is gone. Lady Matsudaira reached across the table, her fingers gently brushing Yuki's. We carry their lessons with us, like the cracks in this bowl. They shape who we are and remind us to embrace our journey. Yuki lifted the bowl and presented it to Lady Matsudaira, inviting her to observe the golden crack closely. This repair symbolizes not just the beauty in accepting flaws, but also the strength found in vulnerability. Much like our lives, we are more beautiful for our imperfections. Lady Matsudaira's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she examined the bowl. You have created something extraordinary, Yuki. Your journey has led you to this moment, a testament to your growth as a tea master and as a person. You honor your grandmother's legacy by embracing the beauty of your own imperfections. The warmth of the moment enveloped them, and Yuki felt a profound connection with Lady Matsudaira, a bond forged through shared experiences and revelations. Thank you for your encouragement. It means more than you know. As they finished their tea, the atmosphere shifted, filled with a sense of peace and understanding. Lady Matsudaira rose to leave, the flickering candlelight casting a soft glow around her. Tomorrow, I will be there, eager to witness your grace in the ceremony. Trust in yourself, Yuki. Yuki stood, bowing respectfully. I will. Thank you for being here with me tonight. As Lady Matsudaira departed, the shoji screen sliding shut behind her, Yuki felt a renewed sense of purpose envelop her. The weight of expectation had lessened, replaced by the understanding that vulnerability was a strength, not a weakness. The bowl now stood on the tatami mat, a symbol of resilience and beauty, illuminated by the soft moonlight streaming through the screens. In that quiet moment, she realized that the upcoming ceremony was not merely a test. It was an opportunity to share her journey, her growth, and her understanding of beauty in imperfection with others. Tomorrow would be a celebration of authenticity, a testament to the lessons learned from both the cracked bowl and the remarkable women who had shaped her path. With a heart full of hope and a spirit unburdened, Yuki prepared to embrace the dawn of a new day, one that would be marked not by the fear of failure, but by the courage to be herself. Chapter 7. The Gathering of Spirits. The soft glow of dawn seeped through the delicate shoji screens of the moonlit plum tea house, casting gentle shadows that danced across the polished wooden floor. Outside, the garden was a tapestry of autumn splendor, with maple leaves ablaze in shades of crimson and gold, while the air carried the crispness of the season, infused with the sweet scent of ripening persimmons. Yuki Tanaka stood amidst the beauty, her fingers deftly arranging the final touches for the day's ceremony. Glistening lanterns, adorned with intricate designs, hung from the branches of the cherry trees, their warm light flickering like whispers of the past. Seasonal flowers, their petals trembling in the soft breeze, had been carefully placed in the stone vase, a testament to Yuki's dedication to the art of ikebana. As she stepped back, her heart swelled with a mix of pride and anxiety. Today was the autumn moon viewing ceremony, a celebration of beauty and imperfection, and she would present her repaired tea bowl, Autumn Moon, for the first time. Yuki, are the sweets ready? Kenji Takahashi's voice echoed from the kitchen, a blend of warmth and urgency. The elderly assistant, with his stooped frame and sprightly demeanor, emerged through the sliding door, flour dusting his simple dark kimono. Almost, Kenji, Yuki called back, turning to face him with a smile. I just need to finalize the arrangements outside. Kenji waved a hand, dismissing her concerns. You know the tea house has never looked more beautiful. The guests will be enchanted. As if summoned by his words, Sato Yoshida burst through the entrance, his youthful energy palpable. Yuki, Kenji, look what I brought. He held up a small lacquer box, its surface gleaming in the morning light. I thought we could use these for the sweets presentation. Yuki leaned closer, her curiosity piqued. What a lovely idea, Sato. They will add a touch of elegance. Sato beamed, his bright expressive eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. The colors match the leaves. I wanted to capture the essence of autumn. Then let's set them out, Kenji said, his voice rich with affection. Your creativity breathes life into our traditions, Sato. Just remember, balance is key. As they worked together, Laughter intermingled with the gentle sounds of nature, the rustling leaves, the distant chirping of birds, and the soft trickle of water from the bamboo fountain. The tea house thrummed with an anticipatory energy, as though the very air was alive with the spirit of the season. Yet, beneath her smile, Yuki felt a weight settle in her chest. The expectations of the distinguished guests weighed heavily upon her, and the thought of presenting the repaired bowl sent a shiver of doubt skimming through her. "Do not let your heart race too fast, Yuki," Kenji advised, sensing her unease. He placed a steady hand on her shoulder. "Remember the teachings of your grandmother. The tea ceremony is not about perfection, it is about connection." Yuki nodded, drawing strength from his words, though her fingers trembled slightly as she adjusted the arrangement of lanterns. "Thank you, Kenji. I will try to remember that." The sun continued its ascent, casting a warm golden hue over the garden, and soon guests began to arrive. The first to step through the gate was Lady Matsudaira, her elegantly embroidered kimono flowing gracefully around her as she moved. The air shifted, infused with a sense of calm that enveloped Yuki. "Ah, Yuki, my dear," Lady Matsudaira greeted, her voice soft yet resonant. "Your garden is a reflection of the season's beauty. I am grateful to be here." "Thank you, Lady Matsudaira," Yuki replied, bowing deeply. "I hope today brings joy and connection to all." "Indeed, it will," the lady assured her, her dark brown hair, intricately styled, a delicate golden hairpin glinting in the sunlight. "Remember, it is the spirit you infuse into the ceremony that will resonate most with your guests." As more guests arrived, the tea house buzzed with laughter and conversation. Renowned tea masters and nobles exchanged greetings, their voices weaving a rich tapestry of tradition and camaraderie. Yuki greeted each guest with a bow, her heart racing as she navigated the sea of expectations and the weight of her own insecurities. "Yuki," Sato called, interrupting her thoughts. "What if I arrange the sweets in a spiral? It could symbolize the cycle of the seasons." Yuki chuckled softly, her heart lightening. "That sounds delightful, Sato. Let's do it." As they worked, Yuki felt the warmth of community wrapping around her like a comforting blanket. Each interaction, each shared smile, reminded her of the beauty of their collective journey. She glanced at Kenji, who was busy preparing the matcha with precision, his movements steady and practiced. "Kenji, do you remember the first autumn ceremony I attended as a child?" Yuki asked, her voice laced with nostalgia. "Of course," he replied, his eyes twinkling. "You were more interested in the sweets than the tea itself." Yuki laughed, picturing her younger self, eyes wide with wonder as she marveled at the delicate confections. "I remember thinking how magical everything felt. And it still is," Kenji said firmly. "The magic lies within you, Yuki, and in how you share it with others." With the final arrangements in place, the tea room transformed into a sanctuary, adorned with flickering lanterns and the aroma of freshly prepared sweets. Yuki took a moment to center herself, breathing deeply as she recalled her grandmother's teachings about the essence of the tea ceremony, to honor the moment, to embrace the transient beauty of life. As the guests gathered, Yuki felt a surge of determination. She glanced at Sato, who was adjusting the display of sweets, and at Kenji, who was preparing to serve the tea. The sense of unity among them was palpable, a collective spirit that transcended the weight of expectations. "Welcome, dear friends," Yuki began, her voice steady yet warm. "Today, we gather to celebrate the beauty of autumn and the imperfections that make life so exquisite. The theme of our gathering is wabi-sabi, the art of finding beauty in the imperfect and the transient. The room fell quiet, the flickering lanterns casting a gentle glow over the guests, each face reflecting rapt attention. Yuki took a moment to breathe, allowing the words to settle into the hearts of those present. I would like to share with you my tea bowl, Autumn Moon. It has been repaired after a journey of its own, and I hope it serves as a reminder that our scars tell stories of resilience and beauty. As she poured the first cup of tea, the golden crack of the bowl glimmered in the light, capturing the attention of the guests. Yuki's heart raced, a blend of anticipation and vulnerability washing over her as she presented the bowl to Lady Matsudaira. "It is exquisite, Yuki," the lady remarked, her gaze softening as she took in the delicate craftsmanship. "Just as you are." The guests began to share their thoughts, each voice weaving a story that resonated with Yuki's theme. Lady Matsudaira spoke of her late husband, recounting the small imperfections they had embraced together, how those moments had shaped her understanding of beauty. "It is in the cracks," she said, her voice thick with emotion, "that we find our deepest connections." Sato, inspired by the stories shared, presented a piece of calligraphy he had created for the occasion. "I wanted to express the beauty of this moment," he said, his hands trembling slightly as he unveiled it. It reads, "In every imperfection lies a story waiting to be told." Warmth spread through Yuki's heart as she witnessed the genuine connections forming among her guests. Each story shared was a thread, weaving them closer together, their individual experiences resonating within the space they occupied. As the ceremony progressed, time seemed to melt away. Laughter and reflections filled the air, and with each sip of tea, the guests embraced the essence of wabi-sabi, finding solace in the shared imperfections of their lives. The moon began to rise outside, casting a silvery glow over the garden, and Yuki felt a profound sense of connection with those gathered. As they sipped from the autumn moon bowl, she realized that her heart, once heavy with anxiety, now soared with joy. In that moment, surrounded by laughter and shared stories, Yuki understood that the beauty of the ceremony lay not just in her presentation, but in the collective spirit of resilience and authenticity that enveloped them all. Their shared experience fostered a deeper understanding of beauty and strength, illuminating the path ahead. As the evening deepened, Yuki stepped outside, the cool air wrapping around her like a gentle caress. She gazed at the rising moon, its luminous presence a reminder of the beauty found in imperfections. The gathering of spirits had unveiled a truth that transcended the tea ceremony. Life, much like her repaired bowl, was a mosaic of experiences, each crack a testament to resilience. And as the moon bathed the world in its silvery light, Yuki felt ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, each moment a gift, each imperfection a story waiting to unfold. Chapter 8. The Ceremony of Light. The moonlit plum tea house stood as a serene testament to the beauty of autumn, embraced by the fragrant plums and vibrant maples that dotted the garden. The air was crisp, infused with the sweet scent of fallen leaves and the promise of moonlit nights. Lanterns, their soft amber glow flickering gently, illuminated the path leading to the tea house, casting a warm welcome that contrasted with the coolness of the evening. Laughter and cheerful chatter drifted on the breeze as guests, adorned in elegant kimonos of deep navy and crimson, began to gather, their intricate patterns swirling like the leaves caught in a gentle gale. Yuki Tanaka stood at the entrance, the repaired autumn moon bowl cradled in her hands. Her heart raced, a blend of excitement and anxiety coiling tight in her chest. She took a deep breath, inhaling the familiar scent of sweet red bean cakes and matcha from within as she prepared to greet her guests. "Yuki!" called a familiar voice. It was Lady Matsudaira, her presence regal and comforting, like the last rays of sunlight before dusk. The lady's dark brown hair was intricately styled, adorned with a delicate hairpin that gleamed like a star against the soft fabric of her richly embroidered kimono. "Lady Matsudaira," Yuki responded, her voice steady, though her pulse quickened at the sight of her patron. "Welcome to the Moonlit Plum." As the noblewoman approached, Yuki could sense the warmth radiating from her. "You have prepared beautifully for the ceremony of light, my dear. The garden looks enchanting beneath the moon. I can feel the spirit of the season in the air." Yuki nodded, her eyes darting to the guests arriving, each one a significant presence in the world of tea. "I hope I can honor that spirit tonight." She glanced down at the bowl, its golden crack glimmering softly in the lantern light. "I wonder if they will see it as I do." "Trust in your journey, Yuki. The beauty of this evening lies not only in perfection, but in the stories we share." Lady Matsudaira smiled, her eyes twinkling with understanding. "Now, let us welcome the others." As the guests filed into the tea house, Yuki greeted each one, her heart swelling with pride and trepidation. Kenji Takahashi, her elderly assistant, moved gracefully among the guests, offering delicate sweets and warm smiles. His weathered face lit up each time he spotted someone familiar, his demeanor a comforting presence amidst the swirling excitement. "Yuki," he called softly as he approached, his gray hair tied back with a simple ribbon. The guests are eager for the ceremony, but they are equally captivated by the preparations. You have transformed this evening into something truly special. "Thank you, Kenji." She smiled at him, feeling the weight of expectation lift slightly. "I just hope I can convey the essence of the bowl." He placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You will, my girl. Remember, the bowl tells a story of resilience, of beauty found in imperfection. Let that be your guide." As the last of the guests settled into the traditional tatami room, Yuki stepped into the ceremony space, her heart beating like the muted drum of a distant festival. The room was adorned with seasonal decorations, strands of dried persimmons and delicate paper lanterns casting playful shadows on the walls. She took a moment to center herself, the scent of fresh tea leaves wafting through the air, grounding her. "Welcome, esteemed friends, to the Moonlit Plum," she began, her voice steady, yet imbued with a gentleness that resonated through the room. "Tonight, we gather not merely to sip tea, but to embrace the beauty of the fleeting autumn moon and the stories that bind us." Her gaze shifted to the repaired bowl resting on the tatami mat, its golden crack a shimmering reminder of the journey she had undertaken. This bowl, known as Autumn Moon, bears a history not of perfection, but of transformation. It was once broken, much like our lives may feel at times. Through the art of kintsugi, I have chosen to mend it, highlighting its flaws rather than hiding them. A murmur of appreciation rippled through the guests, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and reverence. Kenji, seated among them, nodded approvingly, while Lady Matsudaira's gaze was fixed upon Yuki, pride illuminating her features. Yuki continued, her voice gaining strength. "The crack symbolizes resilience, the beauty of life's transience. Each mark tells a story, a reminder that our imperfections make us unique that they are not to be shunned, but celebrated. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, so too do we grow through our experiences. As she spoke, she felt a warmth blossoming within her, a connection forming between her and her audience. She could see Kenji's encouraging smile and Lady Matsudaira's approving nod. This was her moment of truth. Let us now partake in the tea, brewed with the essence of this season's finest leaves. Yuki moved gracefully to the tea set, the movement fluid and practiced. She poured the steaming green tea into the repaired bowl, the warmth of the liquid contrasting with the cool evening air. Please share in this experience, she invited, offering the bowl first to Lady Matsudaira. The noblewoman accepted it with both hands, cradling it gently as if it were a cherished heirloom. She took a sip, her expression thoughtful. This bowl holds more than tea. It holds a story, Lady Matsudaira said, her voice soft yet resonant. It is a testament to the beauty of life's fragility. Yuki watched as the bowl was passed from guest to guest. Each person took a turn sipping from the autumn moon, their expressions shifting from curiosity to awe. The atmosphere was alive with shared appreciation, a sense of community weaving through the room. Sato Yoshida, the young apprentice, beamed as he took his turn. Yuki, it feels as though I am drinking in the essence of autumn itself. The bowl amplifies the flavor, making each sip richer. It is as if the tea has a story of its own. Indeed, Yuki replied, her heart swelling with joy. Every cup tells a tale. It is our duty to listen. As the ceremony progressed, the guests engaged in quiet conversations, sharing their reflections on the themes of the evening. Laughter bubbled over, punctuated by moments of contemplation. Yuki felt the weight of her earlier anxiety dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of belonging. After the tea tasting, she stepped aside with Lady Matsudaira and Kenji, her heart still racing from the experience. Did I manage to convey what I intended? She asked, looking between them. You did more than that, Yuki, Lady Matsudaira replied, her voice warm and nurturing. This evening has been a revelation. You have embraced the spirit of wabi-sabi, allowing your guests to connect with their own stories. Kenji chimed in. You've shared not just the tea, but your heart. This is the essence of the ceremony, the connections we forge through our vulnerabilities. Thank you, Yuki said, a wave of gratitude washing over her. I couldn't have done it without your support. I was terrified of revealing the bowl, of showing its flaws in front of everyone. Flaws make it beautiful, Kenji reminded her, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. Just as we are beautiful in our imperfections. A shared silence enveloped them, each lost in their thoughts. Outside, the moon hung low in the sky, casting a silvery light over the garden, illuminating the delicate petals of the plum blossoms that danced lightly in the breeze. Look at how the moonlight bathes the garden, Lady Matsudaira said, breaking the stillness. It reminds us that even in darkness, there is beauty to be found. Yuki stepped outside, her breath catching at the sight. The garden transformed beneath the moon's glow, revealing a world awash in silver. The shadows danced playfully, and the air was filled with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant laughter. Tonight has been a gift, Yuki murmured, her heart swelling with hope and renewal. I feel as though I have finally found my place among the tea masters. Indeed, you have, Kenji agreed, joining her under the moonlit sky. But remember, this is just the beginning. The world will continue to challenge you, but you have the strength to embrace it. As Yuki stood amidst the beauty of the night, A sense of tranquility enveloped her. The repaired bowl, now a symbol of resilience, glimmered in her mind's eye. She envisioned all the stories it would continue to tell, the connections it would foster. The moonlight danced across the surface of the tea house, illuminating the paths ahead, each one a journey marked by imperfections, yet brimming with possibility. And as she stood there, surrounded by nature's beauty and the warmth of friendship, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The ceremony of light had illuminated not just the garden, but her soul, and she was ready to face whatever lay beyond the horizon. Chapter 9. An Unexpected Storm. The moonlit plum tea house was aglow with the warmth of soft lamplight and the lingering essence of the tea ceremony. Yuki Tanaka stood amidst the delicate remnants of the evening's celebration, the echoes of laughter and gentle conversation still reverberating in her heart. Outside, however, the serenity of the garden was marred by a deepening twilight. Ominous clouds rolled in, casting shadows over the carefully raked gravel paths and the elegant plum trees swaying with the growing wind. Yuki inhaled deeply, trying to absorb the feelings of fulfillment that had blossomed within her during the moon viewing ceremony. Guests had departed, their spirits buoyed by her artistry, yet an unsettling tightness gripped her chest. She turned her gaze toward the garden, where the first drops of rain began to splatter against the wooden roof, a soft patter that quickly escalated into a staccato rhythm. "Yuki, you mustn't worry so," said Kenji Takahashi, her elderly assistant, his voice steady amidst the growing storm. He approached her with a knowing smile, his gray hair tied back neatly. "The storm is but a cleansing of the earth. It can bring renewal, just as we do here." "Renewal? Yes," Yuki murmured, her eyes on the horizon where the dark clouds churned. "But I fear it may also bring disruption." As she spoke, Lady Matsudera lingered by the entrance, her richly embroidered kimono shimmering like autumn leaves caught in a gentle breeze. "Your ceremony tonight was a testament to the beauty of our shared imperfections, dear Yuki," she said, her voice a soothing balm against the tension in the air. "You created a space where we could connect, where the fleeting beauty of the moon inspired us all." Yuki felt her heart swell at the praise, yet a pang of apprehension followed. "Thank you, Lady Matsudaira, but I fear the storm may disrupt more than just the tranquility of this evening." "Let it rain, let it storm," Sato Yoshida piped up, his youthful energy cutting through the weight of the moment. He brushed a few stray strands of hair from his forehead, his bright eyes glimmering with mischief. "We are trapped in the best tea house in Kyoto. If we must endure a storm, what better place than here?" Kenji chuckled softly at Sato's exuberance. "Wise words from a young man who knows the value of good tea and good company." Yuki smiled, grateful for their camaraderie. "Yes, we are safe here, but we must ensure our guests reach their homes safely." Just then, a gust of wind howled through the open lattice windows, rattling the wooden structure of the tea house. The sound was like a warning, a reminder that nature held power beyond their cozy walls. "I'll fetch the lanterns," Kenji said, his voice steady. "We must light the way for those who depart." As he moved to gather the lanterns, Lady Matsudaira stepped closer to Yuki. "You have grown so much, my dear. Your strength lies not in perfection, but in your willingness to embrace vulnerability." "Vulnerability," Yuki echoed, glancing at the lanterns flickering to life, illuminating the shadows in the tea room. "I feel it more than ever tonight. With the storm brewing, I wonder how our community will hold together." "The storm is a test of resilience," Lady Matsudaira replied thoughtfully. We shall face it together, as we did the ceremony. Remember, Yuki, you are not alone." Before Yuki could respond, a sharp knock rattled the door, startling them all. Sato rushed to open it, revealing Mr. Yamamoto, their neighbor from across the way. His clothes were drenched, and his face bore the weight of urgent news. "Yuki! Kenji! I must speak with you," he gasped, stepping inside and shaking droplets from his hair. The warmth of the tea house enveloped him, yet the storm outside seemed to follow, bringing with it an air of foreboding. "What is it, Mr. Yamamoto?" Yuki asked, concern knitting her brow. "The samurai are restless," he said, his voice low and grave. "I've heard whispers of unrest spreading through Kyoto. Tensions are rising, and the storm outside is nothing compared to what is brewing among the clans." Yuki's heart sank. The tea house, her sanctuary, had always been a refuge for the weary, but now it felt vulnerable, perched on the edge of chaos. "What do you suggest we do?" she asked, her voice steadier than she felt. "We must be vigilant," Mr. Yamamoto replied, his eyes darting to the windows as the rain lashed against the wooden beams. "Your tea house has become a gathering place for the artists and the poets. They look to you for guidance, Yuki. You have the power to unite them." "Unite them?" Yuki echoed, feeling the weight of his words settle heavily on her shoulders. "But how?" Through gritted teeth, Kenji spoke. "The tea house has always been a place of peace. If unrest comes, let it be a refuge for those in need. We can serve tea, share stories, and comfort one another. In chaos, we must sow the seeds of connection." Sato nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, let us turn this storm into an opportunity. We can hold poetry readings, calligraphy sessions. The arts can heal when the world feels broken." Yuki's heart stirred at the thought. "You're right, our community needs to feel safe, to gather and share their fears. We can create a safe haven in the storm." Lady Matsudaira stepped forward, her presence commanding yet nurturing. "I will help you, Yuki. We can prepare the tea house for those who seek solace. We will transform this moment of fear into one of strength and unity." The storm outside intensified, wind howling through the trees, yet within the tea house, the atmosphere shifted. Yuki felt the flickering flame of determination ignite within her. "Very well, let us prepare. We'll share our tea, our stories, and our art. We will face whatever comes together." As they set to work, the storm continued to rage outside, the wind howling like a restless spirit. Yuki moved with purpose, gathering her finest teas and arranging the delicate cups she had inherited from her grandmother. The sound of rain on the roof became a rhythmic backdrop, a reminder of nature's power, but also of their collective strength. "Each cup we serve will carry our hopes," Kenji said, arranging the sweets on a tray. "And each story shared will bind us together." Sato darted to the windows, peering out at the darkened sky. "It feels alive out there," he said, his voice a mix of awe and concern. "Like the world is holding its breath." "Perhaps it is," Lady Matsudaira replied, her gaze distant yet fierce. "But we will not be swept away. We will stand firm, like the plum trees in our garden. Even in the storm they bloom." Yuki nodded, her heart swelling with resolve as she stepped outside into the garden, the rain soaking her kimono. She looked up at the cherry tree, its branches swaying, but still standing strong. She murmured softly to herself, "In storms, we find our true selves." The world around her felt charged, alive with possibility, and in that moment, she resolved to use the moonlit plum as a sanctuary, a place where art and tea would weave together to create a tapestry of resilience. She would not only serve tea, but serve hope, community, and connection. As she turned to rejoin her friends, the storm raged on, the winds howling. But within the tea house, the seeds of unity had been planted, ready to bloom in the face of adversity. The night was dark, but Yuki felt a light burning within her, a determination to guide her community through the storm that threatened to uproot their lives. And as the storm rumbled on, the bond between them grew stronger, forging a path toward courage and resilience, one cup of tea at a time. Chapter 10. Reflections Under the Moon. The moonlit plum. Tea house stood serene beneath the watchful gaze of the autumn moon, its silvery light weaving through the skeletal branches of the cherry tree, which had begun to shed its leaves. The garden, once vibrant with the hues of fall, now lay quiet, adorned only with the remnants of the moon-viewing ceremony. Lanterns flickering softly in the gentle breeze cast dancing shadows upon the stone path, where Yuki Tanaka found herself lost in thought. Dressed in a dove-gray silk kimono, patterned with delicate autumn maple leaves, Yuki stood by the cherry tree, her fingers brushing against the cool bark. The air was crisp, and the scent of fallen leaves mingled with the faint aroma of roasted chestnuts, wafting from the small hearth near the entrance of the tea house. It was a tranquil evening, one that echoed the profound moments of connection she had witnessed just hours before. Beautiful, isn't it? The voice of Kenji Takahashi broke the stillness, his age-worn face illuminated by the moonlight. He stepped beside her, a sprightly figure despite the stoop of his shoulders, his dark kimono flowing gracefully around him. Yuki nodded, her heart swelling with a wave of memories from the ceremony. It was more than I expected, she admitted, turning her gaze to the sky. The way everyone embraced the kintsugi bowl, it felt like they were sharing a piece of their own stories. Kenji chuckled softly, his eyes twinkling with pride. You guided them well. The way you spoke of imperfection resonated with everyone. It is a lesson we all need, especially in these uncertain times. She smiled, recalling the way the guests had marveled at the repaired bowl, its scars of gold glinting under the lantern light. Each crack told a story, a metaphor for resilience that had struck a chord with the community. I feel as though we are all bonded in our flaws. As they began to tidy the garden together, Sato Yoshida bounded into the scene, his youthful energy bubbling forth like the tea he so eagerly prepared. Yuki! Kenji! I heard the most wonderful stories tonight. He danced around them, his black hair tousled, eyes alight with excitement. Did you see Lady Matsudaira? Her haiku about the moon and the bowl was pure magic. Magic indeed, Yuki replied, her heart warming at the thought of the noblewoman's words. Lady Matsudaira had shared a personal reflection during the ceremony, how she had faced loss, yet found beauty in the memories that lingered. It had felt like a gift, one that had deepened the emotional atmosphere of the evening. Sato continued, and the way everyone shared their own experiences, I thought I would burst with inspiration. I want to create a piece that embodies all of it. A painting, maybe? His enthusiasm was infectious, and Yuki couldn't help but smile at his youthful optimism. It is a wonderful idea, Sato. Just remember, the beauty of your work will come from your heart, just as it did in the ceremony, she encouraged, remembering her grandmother's teachings. As the three of them shared stories and laughter, Yuki felt the weight of the world momentarily lift. Together, they embraced the spirit of the tea house, a sanctuary where connections blossomed like the cherry blossoms that would soon return with spring. Later that evening, as the moon reached its peak, Yuki settled into the tea ceremony room, its simplicity a stark contrast to the vibrancy of the festivities outside. The repaired kintsugi bowl lay on the alcove, a shining testament to imperfection and beauty. She felt a sense of gratitude swell within her. The room was fragrant with the lingering scent of matcha and the faintest hint of incense, creating a meditative space. "Yuki," a soft voice interrupted her reverie. Lady Matsudaira entered, her presence as graceful as the silk of her richly embroidered kimono. "May I join you?" "Of course, Lady Matsudaira," Yuki replied, gesturing for her to sit. "I was just reflecting on the ceremony." The noblewoman settled gracefully on the tatami mat, her dark brown hair styled intricately, and her eyes carrying the wisdom of years filled with both joy and sorrow. It was a beautiful evening, one that will be remembered, I believe. She looked at the bowl, her expression contemplative. "You chose to embrace its imperfections, and in doing so, you taught everyone that our scars can create something beautiful." Yuki felt a warmth spread through her. "It was your haiku that inspired me to focus on that. The way you expressed your own experiences, it felt like an invitation for all of us to share our vulnerabilities." Lady Matsudaira smiled, a touch of sadness in her eyes. "Life has taught me that our wounds can become the most profound sources of strength. I lost my husband many years ago, and for a time I thought I would be consumed by my grief. But in the quiet moments, I discovered beauty in my memories, much like the kintsugi bowl before us." Yuki listened intently, recognizing the depth of the woman's words. "You have shared so much wisdom with me," she said softly. "I hope to carry this understanding into the future, to create a space where others can feel safe to share their stories. That is the essence of the tea house, dear Yuki. It is a sanctuary, and you are its heart," Lady Matsudaira replied gently, her voice imbued with warmth. "You are destined to become a great tea master, not just because of your skill in the way of tea, but because of your ability to connect with others." The noblewoman's words filled Yuki with a sense of purpose. "I want to honor my grandmother's legacy, to ensure that this tea house remains a place where people can find solace and community, especially in these troubled times." Lady Matsudaira nodded knowingly. "There are whispers of unrest, my dear. The political landscape is shifting, and we must be prepared. But remember, sometimes the strongest roots grow from the most turbulent soil." Yuki's heart sank slightly at the mention of unrest, the looming threat of change casting a shadow over her dreams. What if the tea house is affected? What if people can no longer come here? "Then we adapt, Yuki," Lady Matsudaira said firmly. "You have the spirit of resilience within you. Consider ways to foster dialogue, to bring people together even in uncertainty. The tea house can serve as a beacon of hope." Yuki took a deep breath, her resolve hardening. "I will. I want to organize gatherings, discussions, maybe even arts and crafts events. Something that highlights our community's strength and unity." "An excellent idea. You could invite local artisans, poets, and even musicians. Art has a way of bridging divides," Lady Matsudaira encouraged, her eyes glinting with excitement. "It will not only strengthen your community, but also remind them of the beauty inherent in their stories." As they spoke, Yuki felt a newfound sense of direction. The tea house had always been a refuge, but now it could also become a hub for creativity and resilience. A week later, the tea house buzzed with life as locals gathered for the autumn festival. The air was rich with the scent of sweet dumplings and roasted chestnuts, and laughter mingled with the soft strains of a shamisen playing in the background. Yuki stood at the entrance, welcoming guests with a warm smile. Kenji moved gracefully among the crowd, serving tea and sweets, while Sato showcased his calligraphy, the words flowing like water across the rice paper. "Your work is breathtaking, Sato," Yuki praised as she admired the bold strokes of his characters, each one echoing themes of resilience and beauty. "Thank you, Yuki. I want to create something that captures the essence of our gathering," he exclaimed, his enthusiasm palpable. "This festival is like a tapestry of our lives, all woven together by shared experiences." As the evening unfolded, Yuki observed the power of connection. Community members shared their own stories of overcoming challenges, illustrating the strength that lay in vulnerability. An elderly woman recounted the loss of her husband, her voice trembling yet steadfast, while a young couple shared their dreams of starting a family despite their modest means. Each story was a thread in the rich fabric of the evening, and Yuki felt the tea house pulsating with a newfound energy. "Yuki," Kenji called, drawing her attention. "Come and see. Sato-san's calligraphy has inspired a lively discussion." Yuki joined them, her heart swelling with pride at the sight of her community coming together, animated and engaged. An older gentleman gestured towards Sato's work, his voice resonating with enthusiasm. "We must all find beauty in our lives, as the young artist has captured here." As Yuki listened, a sense of fulfillment washed over her. She had created the very space she had envisioned, a sanctuary for sharing and connection. The tea house had become a living testament to the resilience and beauty of imperfection, a place where everyone's stories mattered. As dusk fell, Yuki found herself on the steps of the tea house, overlooking the garden bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. The celebration had woven itself into the fabric of the community, but she felt the weight of the world still lingering in her heart. "Kenji," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "what if the challenges we face grow into something we cannot navigate?" Kenji settled beside her, his expression contemplative. "Every storm passes, Yuki, and we are not meant to face it alone. The tea house stands as a beacon, a reminder that we can endure together. I want to ensure that it continues to thrive, regardless of what lies ahead," she declared, her resolve sharpening. "Perhaps we can host regular gatherings to facilitate discussions about the future, to inspire hope and unity." "An excellent plan," Kenji replied, a smile creeping across his weathered face. "You are already becoming a leader, Yuki. Just remember to embrace your imperfections, for they are what will guide you." As the moon cast its silver light upon the repaired kintsugi bowl, Yuki felt a profound sense of peace. Every crack, every sur was a reminder of resilience and beauty, not just in the bowl, but in the lives of those she cherished. With a heart full of purpose, Yuki gazed up at the moon, a silent promise forming within her, a commitment to nurture her community, to foster connection, and to celebrate the beauty of imperfection as they face the challenges ahead together. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. If you enjoyed the episode, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Just drop a comment below. If you have a moment, leaving an honest rating really helps us out, and sharing the show with a friend makes a big difference too. Your feedback not only helps us improve, but also makes it easier for new listeners to discover what we're creating together. Until next time, wishing you a peaceful night and the sweetest of dreams. This has been a Jay Wilkinson Productions original story. Good night.